Hey, did you ever see the movie Heat? Has Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Wes Studi. It's an amazing cast. Oh, it's got a very young what's her name? It doesn't matter. Have you ever seen the movie Heat? It's one of these stories where um, everybody's a bad guy. Even the good guys are bad guys, and you find yourself wondering, who am I rooting for here? Who's the guy that I want to get away with it? Or, it's kind of one of those movies. In fact, yesterday when we were doing our after show, we were talking about the books that I've recently read on my 2026 mission to read 6 classics. Tale of Two Cities is kind of like that with the Defarges, right? Madame, is it Defarge? Defarge. Like, anyway, like, you love her, but also you're like, ooh, but she's terrible. She's right. Okay. All right. The case that we are going to talk about tonight, I don't think that this is going to be a long case. I don't think that we're going to do many videos, live streams on this, or podcast if you're listening to it. I think this is probably going to be a one and done kind of a situation. But this is one of those cases where there are two main characters in this case. One is a terrible criminal, and the other also a terrible criminal. But one of them you're like, I like this guy, and the other one you're like, I really am glad what happened to this guy happened to this guy. But there's no good guy. There's no good guy. It's I don't know. It struck me. The case struck me. I was like, "Oh, we have to talk about this because this is the kind of thing where we will have, inner turmoil. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just like, yeah, whatever. That guy can kick rocks, and he got exactly what he deserves. Or we might have some inner turmoil here because what we're talking about, the main theme of the case is vigilante justice. And I mean, this guy got what was coming to him. But also, probably not the right way. Anyway, Javi, why don't you roll? This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend. Welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. This is a case that people really aren't following, so we're probably going to have a nice, small, intimate little live chat today. Way fewer participants than we normally have. And that's okay. I mean, we can't hit a home run every single time, right? I mean, I've been hitting base hits for so long that I don't even know what it's like to strike out. So you gotta bring us back down to reality. How you doing? How you doing? I hope everything where you guys are, I hope you are doing well. We you know what I forgot to do is start us out with the question of the day. If I were a professional YouTuber instead of this rank amateur that I am, I would have done the cold open correctly. I would have asked you to put GF in your comments. I would have presented the question of the day to get us rolling, to get us talking, to get us chatting. And I didn't do that because I'm an amateur. But you know what? Let's make up for it. Let's hop into the question of the day. What is one thing people would be surprised to learn about you? And bonus points, I guess, if you can make me laugh. This is a terrific question of the day. What is one thing that people would be surprised to learn about you? I think at this point, nothing is going to surprise you about me. I'm pretty much an open book, but I want to learn a little bit about you. So this is a selfish question of the day for sure. What is one thing people would be surprised to learn about you? And while you're typing that in, let me just give well, I'll tell you what our plan is today. Today we are going to talk about the case of Malik Chandler. Okay, I don't know that it's the case of Malik Chandler, but he is half of the case. Okay, now if you're listening to this on a podcast, you're not looking at the screen right now. What I'm showing folks is a mugshot. It's a mugshot of a young black man, tattoos on his neck, long dreads. He looks satisfied with himself. He doesn't look overly prideful or full of himself. He just looks like, yeah, I'm here now. And what got me here is it's fine. It's fine. And have you ever, as a parent, thought of maybe like if your kids had bullies, or maybe it's one of your children that's bullying another child, and you say to yourself, you know what, I could just end this miserable existence for that person right now, and I could go happily to prison for the rest of my life. That is what, am I the only one? No, you have never felt that before? I'm the only one? Okay, well, I'm a terrible person. But this is what Mr. Chandler looks like to me. He's just like, yeah, I did what I did, and I'm gonna have to go to prison. But psh, I mean, I had to do what I had to do. Now, the other side of this equation is a young man named Diego Montoya Gonzalez. He's sporting the exact same clothing. He is in a tan set of, what do they call them, scrubs, right? So I think he's in the same jail. I think that's fair to say. In fact, we got documents that say they are. He looks a little more like, I don't want to be here. He's just like, whew, man, young Hispanic kid, kind of shaggy around the hair. And he's just like, dude, I'm in rough shape here, and this is not where I want to be. So yeah, you look at Mr. Chandler and he's like, yep, this is where I am. You look at Mr. Montoya Gonzalez and he's like, yep, this is where I am. So we are going to talk a little bit about this case today. We're going to read some articles about it. We've got some court docs to go over. We've got video from a lawyer, a former prosecutor that has some input on this case. Of course, we're going to do a round of 3 questions. We are going to get into true crime headlines. We've got some awesome news today, guys. It is not animal related. It is humanity related, and it makes me feel good. It's going to be the curiously strong mint that freshens the breath of all of our cake holes after consuming this delicious but stinky true crime of ours. Okay. I'm not very good at metaphors. I'm just not very good at metaphors. All right. Let's go back to the question of the day. See what you guys are saying over in the live chat. Here we go. What do we have? Mother Dragon says people might be surprised to learn that I'm a good cook and I'm a good mom. I'm not surprised to learn you're a good mom. You are a mother of dragons. That is not an easy job, right? And I am surprised a little bit about the cook thing. I would imagine that your dragons would cook for themselves, but you know what? Lucky Lady says, I'm the sole survivor of a natural set of sextuplets. No way. I'm sorry you're the sole survivor, but sextuplets. Wow. I am surprised, Lucky Lady. Is that where Lucky Lady comes from? Lynn Taylor says, it's usually my age. People are surprised to learn about the age. Becky says, people would be surprised to learn that I sold my house in New York and moved to another state at 72 years old to be near half of my grandchildren. You know what? That that's a big move at age 72, but I think your incentive was working properly against you there. Properly against. Like the incentive was pushing on you. Not that it was a bad incentive, that it was pushing on you, and I think that's good. Clarinet Girl says, I accurately type 100 words per minute. I'm the world's worst typist. I am a terrible typist. You know, the old timey-wimey movies in black and white where where like the reporters are typing with one finger. They're like, tat, 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 tat. I look at my fingers. I don't need to, but I'm in the habit of it, and I fat finger all the time. So accurate at 100 words per minute. Also that you're a champion speller. Good for you. That makes me happy. I do love good spelling and good grammar. Gluten Free says, I'm in remission from cancer since 2000. 26 years in cancer remission. That is amazing. Christine Meadows says, people say I look 45-ish, but I'll be 60 next week. Holy cow. Yeah, people don't say that about me. I look my age. I feel like I'm looking better than I was a year ago, but good for you, Christine. Man, you look 15 years younger than you are. I hope you feel 15 years younger than you are. And yeah, it's terrific. All right, guys. Thanks for getting us started. Let's hop in to this case. Come with me, if you will, over to this article from Newsweek. Now, a trigger warning. Okay, we are talking about an unhappy subject today. I'm not going to be using certain words. And for those of you on the podcast or over on Spotify, you're going to be going, why does he do that? It's redacted is a word that begins with the letter R. Huh. What a coincidence. Okay. An Ohio father accused of shooting a man suspected of redacting his 11-year-old daughter was set a higher bond than the 20-year-old alleged attacker, sparking outrage on social media. Malik Chandler, 31. I'll bring up a picture. This is Malik. Malik Chandler, 31, of Grove City, Ohio. Boy, are we getting a lot of cases out of Ohio recently. Was arrested and charged with felonious assault in July, WBNS reported. Prosecutors said he shot Diego Montoya Gonzalez, age 20, after luring him to his home on July 16th through messages sent via his daughter's TikTok account. A day after the girl's mother reportedly discovered video of the alleged, let's say, redacted, on the girl's phone. When officers arrived at the scene, they found Montoya Gonzalez in a chair with 2 gunshot wounds. Pew pew wounds, WHIO reported. He was transported to Grant Medical Center in Columbus. The case has garnered fresh July 15th. The next day, Chandler allegedly pretended to be his daughter on TikTok to get Montoya Gonzalez to come to their home. A criminal complaint, which I couldn't get my hands on, I've been looking for, said that Chandler told police he planned to beat Montoya Gonzalez and hold him until police arrived on scene. But Chandler told police he believed Montoya Gonzalez was reaching for a little pew-pew, and so he shot him. According to ABC6, Chandler was charged in 2021. So this is getting back to what I was saying earlier. Chandler is no saint here, okay? According to ABC6, Chandler was charged in 2021 with strangling his live-in girlfriend until she lost consciousness, although the case was later dismissed. He was convicted in 2017 of attempted breaking and entering, a misdemeanor, that meant he was still legally permitted to possess a firearm under Ohio law, the outlet reported. Yeah, so like you have to commit a felony in order to not be able to carry a firearm in the United States and everywhere in the United States. Of course, social media has reacted. Social media users have expressed support for Chandler and questioned why he was issued a higher bond than his daughter's alleged redactist. Quote, so dad doing what a dad should do gets a much higher bond than the alleged redactist who was allegedly caught with horrific images and video of CSAM, including of a baby? Conservative activist Robbie Starbuck wrote on X, our justice system is broken. Conservative activist Riley Gaines also expressed support for the father, writing on X, give this dad a medal. Senator Ted Cruz, a Republican, wrote on X, don't redact kids. This should not be a controversial statement. Well, Mr. Cruz, it is not. It is not a controversial statement. That is the dumbest. Okay. Oh my goodness. So that is what has happened. Mr. Chandler, the satisfied looking man on the screen right now, found out that Mr. Montoya Gonzalez, the not so satisfied looking young man on the screen right now, had been redacting his 11-year-old, and that it was on video. This is all alleged, of course. I haven't seen any of this, nor should I, or do I want to. It's alleged that and so he took the law into his own hands. But he's actually claiming self-defense, right? He's like, oh, he had a pew pew. I gotta fire first, right? Of course, the young man survived. So let's see. I think I have what. Let me look at before I go over to your comments. Come back over here. Here is the criminal case detail document. It just basically, he has been indicted. He was indicted on the 23rd. He was arrested on the 16th. And his charges are felonious assault. Specifications: he displayed or brandished a firearm. And that must mean weapon under disability, property subject to forfeiture because of indictment. A felony 3. Let's see what that is. Let's see what that actually is, because sometimes these notes are wrong. So Ohio revised code, as I look at my fingers. Let's see. Unless relieved from disability under operation of law or legal process. Oh, they're alleging that he's not supposed to have a pew-pew. Okay. But I think we learned later that it was okay for him to do that. He did get a recognizance bond on this. So he got a $100,000 bond, but on his own recognizance. He waived his reading of the indictment. A judge was assigned. Court appointed attorney. Affidavit of indigency appointed a public defender. So this all happened today. He entered the plea of not guilty. He's got electronic monitoring. And I mean, that's pretty much the docket there. Let me go back to my notes here real quick. I want to yeah, we'll go through all these. Now this is the case report for Mr. Montoya Gonzalez. And I believe this is the one that gives us, oh yes, this is the story of his arrest. I love this. I just absolutely love this. Okay, I don't get me wrong. I think the guy's a scumbag. But I mean, you might as well, I guess, if you're a scumbag, run from cops, I guess, right? Okay, so here is the narrative. On July 22nd, 2026, officers Cole, Hall, Jones, they put his badge number because I'm sure there are many Joneses, Kingsbury, Coleman, Judd, Sergeant McCoy, and Sergeant Smith. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Went to 505 Broad Meadows Boulevard in Columbus, Ohio to serve an arrest warrant on Diego Gonzalez for, I did not, for redacted felony 1. So lest we think that Mr. Chandler was wrong in his assessment that Mr. Montoya Gonzalez had redacted his 11-year-old, and understanding that these are only allegations, the police appear to agree with him. Okay? Officers observed Diego in front of the above address standing in a grassy area. Do you know what this means? This means they know exactly who he is. They didn't say Mr. Gonzalez. They didn't, and they recognized him. Okay. Officers in plain clothing and wearing a bulletproof vest with police written on it and operating an unmarked vehicle exited their vehicles and identified themselves as police while approaching Diego. Diego observed officers and began running southbound. He beat feet. He's like, I gotta go. You got 8 officers after you, dude. It's so dumb. Officers began yelling for Diego to stop and that he was under arrest, while also chasing after him. Diego was apprehended in the area of 5420 Olentangy Boulevard, Columbus, Ohio, without further incident. And then I love these notes. During the pursuit of Diego, Officer Cole slid on rocks in a driveway and fell down, causing injury, bruising, and scrapes to his right knee. They put this down because there has to be injury probably in order to charge him with that extra charge. Officer Hall tripped over a hidden wire separating backyards. You know what? They misspelled separating, but I read it fine. It was fine. It looks like it was spelled by George R. R. Martin, but that's okay. A hidden wire separating backyards and caused injury, scrape, and bruising. Interesting. So Officer Cole got bruising and scrapes. Officer Hall got scrape and bruising. Okay. Diego was later transported to GCPD for slating. This is his slate. Before being transported to the JAK jail on his warrant for redacted F1 and fresh charge of obstructing official business F5. So he tried to outrun him. Now he's got multiple active cases about him. Okay, he's got 3 active cases. Let's bring them up, shall we? Case number 1 filed May 11th. So 2 months before this happened, by indictment. He's got breaking and entering, theft, receiving stolen property, use of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon when the person is subject to forfeiture. So he has a previous record. All right, so there's case number 1 against young Mr. Gonzalez. Case number 2, let's see, did I do these in order? Yeah, maybe-ish. Let's see, 96. Wrong one. 96. Okay. What did I do? Did I accidentally just close one? I think I did. Hold on. Well, we'll finish this one. This one is... No, we saw that one. This one is from the 30th. This one is redacted, and obstructing official business. Felony 1, felony 1, felony 5. Notice there are 2 charges of redacted there. And then I think I closed. Let me reopen the 3rd one. Give me a moment while I go to the file. I am pretty darn organized, but I got to get an easier way to get to my case files that isn't so many steps. Okay, Mr. Chandler, here we go. Yeah, 9-4. There we go. All right, so this one is also on the 30th, also an indictment, and pandering to minors, a felony for 5 counts. So these are the CSAM charges. Okay, so Mr. Montoya Gonzalez, he's definitely the bad guy here, for sure. It's all alleged, of course, but he's definitely the bad guy. Mr. Chandler, he's Madame Defarge to me. He is like, yeah, I understand him. But can we condone what he has done? Let's keep his picture up here and head on over to what you guys are saying. Let me come up here. Thank you very much to Lynn for the super chat. Deeply appreciate that, Lynn. Thank you so much. Mother of Dragons, I live in Ohio, and it's crazy how many times I have read about, watched, or learned, stuff in Ohio. Grove City is just southwest of Columbus, says Anastasia. Anastasia in Cleveland. My sister lives in the area. She's all right because she's a Cleveland girl. We've got a little friendly competition between the two. Miku Chan, I'm showing audio is working on my end. You may have to restart the live stream. Sometimes that happens with YouTube. Sharky giving out some memberships. Thank you, Sharky. Appreciate that. And then Frida says, normally I'm not for vigilantism because people can get it wrong, just like the justice system can, even more so. But if they had proof, it makes it a bit more reasonable. Yeah, I'm not for vigilantism either, right? I mean, this country has a very, I hate using this word, but we have a problematic history of vigilante justice. We just do. And we do not, I don't want to encourage it, but at the same time, I understand it because I would have the same feelings in me. Scotch's mom is a fanatic for 2 months. Thank you very much. I'm glad you are a member as well. Okay, and let's see. Olentangy is how we say that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, he's got a lengthy rap sheet. Sounds like a real peach, says Christine. And Cabling says Montoya needs exactly what he got. Too bad not gone. Ooh, Cabling taking it a step further. Well, I tell you what, why don't we go over to a couple of other things that I prepared? Okay, we're going to do this article from, I think, New York Post. I think. Yes, it is. And then I've got a video from the New York Post that I want to show you guys. I think that's how I wanted to do this. No, I want to do the video first. Let's do the video. Okay. So bring you over here. This is just a short video. It's about 3 minutes long from the New York Post. I did not raise the volume like I typically need to because it was already there, but little earbud or headphone check for you guys. I'm about to play this video. So in 3, 2, here we go.
My name is Nima Rahmani. I'm a former federal prosecutor and the president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Prosecuting a case of vigilante justice is very difficult. Oftentimes, you'll deal with jury nullification or other issues where jurors just don't want to convict someone who is protecting someone else, especially if it's their child who's being sexually. Vigilante justice.
I should say, I'm muted anytime he's basically saying redacted, right? So the audio went down on purpose there.
Cases that go to trial are few and far between because prosecutors know that the chance of an acquittal is high. What they try to do is plea these cases out because oftentimes there's a moral justification for the use of force, even though there's not a legal one. We certainly can't have members of society taking the law into their own hands, can't serve as a judge, jury, and executioner. But again, even though that is an accurate reading of the law, jurors are ordinary people, and they're loath to convict people that are protecting their children. In this particular case, the alleged perpetrator, Montoya, was sexting an 11-year-old girl. Her father, Chandler, lured Montoya to his home and shot him twice. Now, he is arguing that he was acting in self-defense, which is a good legal argument, potentially. The argument being that Montoya reached for a gun. In any case, regardless of whether there's vigilante justice or not, in any state, you're entitled to use deadly force if you're at imminent risk of death or serious bodily injury. If I'm the defense attorney in this case, I fully argue self-defense. If the elements of self-defense are established, then there can be no criminal or civil liability. Setting aside the abuse and the vigilante justice. So if that fails because Montoya didn't have a gun or the use of force was unreasonable under the circumstances, then you want to pivot to the moral reason, which again isn't a legal defense, but certainly a compelling one in any plea negotiation or any litigation before a judge and jury. I personally think that the father should be charged, but he should get little to no time. The reason he should be charged is you can't have members of society take the law into their own hands. That renders our criminal justice system futile. I understand as a parent why someone would want to do this, but the proper course of action is to contact law enforcement and have them arrest the individual and have them prosecute.
And it looks like they were, actually. It looks like law enforcement had already been contacted. They were working this case.
The individual and have them put the person away. Even though I've said all that, if I were the prosecution in this case, I would probably offer a no-time felony deal such that he understands that this is not something that you can do, but he's not punished for it, because you need to strike a balance between maintaining a law and order and the rule of law on one hand, but not punish someone who, in my opinion, is also a victim in the case. I don't think that this is a case that deserves jail time in any stretch, but it's something that certainly doesn't deserve turning a blind eye to either, because it can present, public policy and criminal justice problems down the road.
Interesting, right? And yeah, I mean, would he take something like that, or would he go in front of a jury? I bet he would take that offer. No jail time? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he is the world's most innocent person. He is well acquainted with the justice system. But yeah, I agree. We can't have vigilante justice, but also you can't have people out there, redacting your children, right? We cannot do that. So let's go over to the article that I wanted to share with you on this one. Just to kind of wrap this case up. And it's the Ohio dad who used TikTok to lure daughter's alleged redactist faces stiff sentence. The Ohio dad who uses TikTok to lure his 11-year-old daughter's alleged redactist to his house, then shot him twice, could face up to 18 years behind bars because he's a felon who isn't allowed to possess a gun, the Post has learned. Oh, okay. So at first we thought it was that he had misdemeanor convictions, but the Post is saying no, he has felony convictions. Malik Chandler, 31, was charged with felony assault and using a weapon under disability after allegedly shooting 20-year-old Diego Montoya Gonzalez during a bloody confrontation at his Grove City home last month, court records show. The under disability specification, which carries extra prison time, was tacked onto the charges because Chandler was banned from ever carrying a firearm in Ohio following a conviction for felony burglary while he was a minor in 2010, according to Nia Hairston, the communications director for the Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. If the weapons charge wasn't added, the dad could have faced up to 12 years behind bars if convicted, plus a fine of up to $15,000 according to Ohio sentencing guidelines. Chandler pleaded not guilty at his arraignment Wednesday, and his family dished out $10,000 to make his bond, his mom told the Post. Why does it say recognizance then? Okay, as part of his bond conditions, the felon was placed on electronic monitoring and warned to stay away from Montoya Gonzalez and his family. Yeah, that's an appropriate warning. After he allegedly threatened one of the accused redacted's relatives outside of the courthouse one day this week. Quote, there was an incident that occurred Monday where the defendant followed the victim's family during custody arraignments and threatened violence, pew-pewing the victim's brother like he pew-pewed the victim, prosecutor Megan Farley said inside the court. So he has not found satisfaction in what he's already done. He's still angry. And I mean, I think that's righteous anger. Chandler denied that claim during the hearing. Chandler allegedly, yeah, we know, the next day he pretended to be a dog, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know all that. So he could face a stiff fine, according to this, or he could get the deal of a lifetime and just go, tell you what, it's a felony, but it's a suspended sentence, no jail time. Just go on your merry and stay away from these folks. And what did we tell you about playing with guns? And I think that's probably what should happen. We don't want vigilante justice for sure. We just don't want it. Oh my goodness. So quickly check in to see if you guys are saying anything over in the live chat before we go. Yeah, Clarinet Girl says, I think of Kyle Rittenhouse, who was acquitted in August 2020, term vigilante widely used. Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, this is a tough one. Cabling says, don't blame the anger. Yeah, I wouldn't, I would feel the exact same way. So I hold no feelings toward him in that regard. I just also know we can't have this going. So guys, that's all we're going to do on the case. This is a pretty quick one. It's compelling to me though, because of just that whole, nobody's a good guy here. Everybody's a bad guy, but one's a badder guy and one's a bad guy you shouldn't mess with. It's just interesting to me, right? Maybe I'll keep my finger on the pulse of this one. Try to follow it as it goes on. But before we finish out the day, we do have some headlines that I want to share with you on a couple of cases that we haven't covered yet, but are interesting and tragic and heartbreaking and sad. We've got some good news to end the day, but before we do all that, how about we hop into some questions? Here we go.
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Alrighty, guys. In this segment, I solemnly do promise that I will answer your questions. Nay, I covenant with you that I will answer these questions. Everything that you send in to 3questions@gavinfish.com, 3questions@gavinfish.com. Of course, there are those that like to cheat and just like to chat with me and send me emails to 3questions@gavinfish.com. But I have an agentic AI who just looks for the questions. So I don't actually check this email address. I have an agent do it for me. So stop trying to cheat. It's funny. All right, question number 1 asks, what is something you are bad at? That is from Beth. Oh my goodness, so many things. Yard work, handymanning, I don't know. Like just normal man stuff. I'm not a good mechanic. I'm not. Yeah, I'm bad at most things, and I'm passable at many things. But I think it's just because I am a person with many different interests, and many different hobbies. And so I haven't gotten really good at any one thing. I am as they say, I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm a jack of many trades, master of none, and lots of things that I don't do well. I'm trying to think. I'm not a good dancer. I'll tell you that. I'm not a good dancer. So, yeah, what are you bad at? Question number 2 from Monica. Are you a planner or do you like to figure things out as you go? I guess it depends on what it is that we are doing. In my domestic relationship with my snuggly bear, my sweetie pie, my one and only, my wife Kimberly, she is a planner. Therefore, I just don't have to worry about planning all that much. But I would say that there are some things that I do that the planning takes like a moment, and then I've got the plan and off I go, right? But I would say that I'm more of a let's figure things out as we go along kind of person, because Kimberly plans so well anyway. Why do I need to worry about it? I'm sure that works to her frustration from time to time. But you know what? There's frustration in every healthy relationship. Yeah. I'm not frustrated all that much with her, though. You know what? There is something that frustrates me. Over the many years, she has figured out how to turn off a light when she leaves a room, which is terrific. She has not figured out how to turn off a ceiling fan, though. And for the very same reason I want them off. That's funny. And then question number 3, Diane asks, Diane is a frequent question asker, what's a lesson you learned the hard way? What's a lesson I learned the hard way? Don't break traffic laws while driving in a rental car in England. Learned that one the hard way. Sure, yeah. Got all like put into a panda wagon, got interrogated, and then ended up like not knowing that they have cameras all over the place, because apparently I couldn't see the signs that said camera in use. We paid like $4,000 in speeding tickets from one trip to Oxford. That was a business trip, and my boss was like, what were you doing? I was like, well, you were in the car with me, man. So yes, don't speed in England, and don't turn left on red in England. Don't do that, especially when there's a copper nearby. Learn that the hard way. So guys, bonus points if you can answer in the live chat or in the comments your responses to 3 questions. What's something that you're bad at? Are you a planner? Or do you like to figure things out as you go along? What does that look like for you? And what is one lesson you learned the hard way? And while you exercise your fingers and put those into the comments, I'm going to take you and show you a couple more headlines in true crime.
True crime headlines.
Guys, there is a case that is so heartbreaking that it's like the Lindsay Clancy case, but it isn't about mental illness. It's about fighting over the children through what appears to be a messy divorce. But the ultimate act was committed nevertheless. This from People. Dad reveals final text with mom accused of killing 4 children with grandma in self-murder, little stomach bug. Here is the picture of mom with the kiddos. Gavin, Gracelyn, Harper, and Hudson Harmon. All right. Looks like a normal mom. Looks like cute little kids. One of them, like, who is that? And that Harper kind of stretching out and exercising her muscles of self-expression with her little blue hair streaks. Oh, she's adorable, right? The father of the 4 children who died in a self-murder in upstate New York has shared his final text with their mother, who authorities say helped poison the children. Sarah Myers, 44, and her 64-year-old mother, Amy Stedman, are believed to have died by self-murder after killing the children, 13-year-old Harper, 11-year-old Hudson, 10-year-old twins Gavin and Gracelyn, on June 10th. The Times-Union of Albany reported, citing Mechanicville police, at least one of the children was stabbed. The family of 6 was found dead inside Stedman's Mechanicville, New York home on June 23rd after a welfare check. On the day authorities believe the killings occurred, the children's father, Brady Harmon, said a scheduled video call between him and the children didn't happen, with Sarah later telling him they were sick, according to text messages he shared on Facebook. Quote, the kids have gotten a little stomach bug, throwing up. Is it okay to switch your online visit to tomorrow night at 4 p.m. your time, please? Sarah wrote. Harmon replied that he hoped they would feel better. The following day, he said he tried to reschedule the call but received no response. And here's a picture of them again. Harper, Hudson, and twins Gavin and Gracelyn. Quote, I cannot understand how anyone could claim that this was done to save my children from harm, Harmon wrote in the Post. Because that's what she was saying. She's saying that her children were being harmed by him. Quote, the greatest possible harm was done to them. They were terrified, betrayed, and robbed of their lives by the very people who are supposed to protect them. Harmon, who lives in Utah, had not seen his children since 2019 and had spent years seeking custody or visitation, he previously told WNYT. He was just days away from seeing them before they were found dead, with a planned visit from July 1st to September 1st. So, just a tragic, I don't want to show her, tragic case of these beautiful little ones whose lives were snatched from this world. Another one that I want to show you, also in People, is that a California man has been arrested after his roommate's remains were found in their backyard. This is Daniel Howard Joslin, the victim. A man has been arrested after his roommate's remains were found in a shallow grave more than a month after he disappeared. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office confirmed, the Inland Empire, man, those guys are busy, on Tuesday, August 4th, that the remains of Daniel Howard Joslin, 61, of Yucca Valley, had been located in the yard of a home in the 58,000 block of Carlisle Drive. Joslin's roommate, 60-year-old Chris Jones, was arrested and is currently in custody on suspicion of Joslin's murder. Morongo Basin deputies were notified of a missing person at approximately 7:30 p.m. local time on July 3rd. At the time, friends and family of Joslin said they had not had any contact with him in 10 days. It was believed that he may have been traveling to Oregon, but no evidence was found to confirm those plans as he remained missing. Morongo Station detectives obtained a search warrant on July 29th and later searched the home he shared with Jones. Upon discovering the shallow grave and its remains in the backyard, detectives from the Sheriff's Specialized Investigations Division Homicide Detail were called to the scene, took over. Coroner came and assisted detectives in removing the body from the residential property. They were able to positively identify him. After Jones was identified as a suspect, authorities issued an arrest warrant, and Oregon's Clackamas County Sheriff's Office assisted in his arrest on Sunday, the 2nd of August. So, yeah, he was in Oregon. Anyone with information related to the case is asked to contact Morongo Basin Station, and anyone who wishes to remain anonymous can call or text report to WeTip at 844-909-3006. So, yeah, interesting case. Roommates, just like 60-year-old roommates, and apparently they did not get along all that well, and those guys are your headlines.
True crime headlines.
Okay, quick little checkaroo from what you guys are saying in the live chat. Becky says, consider the fact that even though the police were already involved, he still went to the girl's house in response to the lure. Oh, terrific comment. Yeah. Yeah, he was still doing it. Mother Dragons, Gavin showing emotions. Indeed I am. Frida says, I'm bad at restraining my face from saying what my mouth doesn't. That's good. That's good. Anastasia in Cleveland, mostly a planner, but I'm flexible and can adapt, improvise, and overcome. Good for you. Scotch's mom says she's a planner. Becky says, I'm also bad at dancing, big time planner, willing to be flexible. Lesson learned? Certain people are liars to get what they want and are willing to hurt people. That is true. Garth B. Nutt says, I'm bad at staying focused. I am half planner and half figure it out as I go along. Nice. Scotch's mom says, I'm magnificently bad at math. That's great. Clarinet Girl says, bad guessing a person's age. I am a planner. I have learned a lot. I've learned not to interrupt my daughter when she is speaking. That's good. Learned that one the hard way. Frida says, I learned that although I can be tolerant and not scared of some strange and kind of scary people, I should still run for the hills, metaphorically speaking. Yeah. I'm sorry you had to learn that one the hard way. Yes, indeed. All right. Great comments today, guys. Before we leave, hey, Wanda, could you maybe give us a little bit of transition music, and let's cleanse our palates and partake of the delicious sen of good news. Wanda, take it away.
Leave your worries far behind. Take a mental trip. Clear the mind. Catch a smile. Enjoy the view. Here's some good news just for you.
All right, guys. Wanda, that was really good. This brought to us, today is People Day on the channel. High school golf tryouts take turn as 3 teens rescue family from lake. Ah, here we go. Here we go. By Paloma Chavez. What started as an ordinary afternoon of golf tryouts quickly turned into a dramatic rescue when 3 Virginia teens spotted a family in the water. On Monday, July 27th, around 3:35 p.m. local time, Andrew Tuggle, 15, and 17-year-olds Jackson Castro and Gavin Kane. My goodness, how many Gavins are going to be featured in one show? So many. Were participating in Eastern View High School golf team tryouts at the Culpeper Country Club when they noticed 2 kayaks had overturned in nearby Lake Culpeper. The Culpeper Police Department said in a news release. Quote, at first it was just a little boy screaming, Kane told NBC affiliate KTVB. A family which included a 3-year-old boy, according to KTVB, had been thrown into the water after the kayaks capsized in an area surrounded by steep, overgrown hillside and a rocky shoreline. Quote, while teammates called 911 and alerted coaching staff, Gavin, Andrew, and Jackson ran to the water's edge, jumped in, and swam out to reach the family. The 3 teens brought both adults and the child safely to shore, then went back for the kayaks. By the time police officers and emergency crews arrived, the rescue had already been completed, police added. Authorities later used drone footage to confirm no one remained in the water. The family of 3, who were all wearing life jackets, good job, family of 3, escaped without injuries. Quote, the guy actually came up to me and said, you saved my life, Tuggle told the news station. Police and school officials have since praised the teens for their courage and selflessness. Culpeper Police Chief Chris Settle said they acted immediately without hesitation at potentially great personal risk to themselves, noting that their quick thinking saved 3 lives. Eastern View golf coach Patrick Thornhill called the rescue heroic. Meanwhile, the superintendent, Tony Brad, said the boys' actions reflected leadership, compassion, and character the district strives to instill in all its students. Oh, shut up. Come on. How about you just let the boys' light shine? How about that? Okay. Talk about the character of the kids, Thornbill told the station. After they got done, they wanted to go ahead and finish the hole. Of course, I sent them home to make sure they got changed, and within 15 to 20 minutes, they were back on the course, ready to play. That's delightful. Following the rescue, all 3 teenagers earned spots on the Eastern View High School golf team, according to the outlet. Terrific. Terrific. Other than, and I just need to extend grace, but other than the superintendent going, yeah, we try to teach that to all the kids, that was a delightful story. And that has given me it's given me a better evening, and I hope it has you too. Tomorrow we will be back with our pal Elizabeth Jones, who joins us each Friday to talk about the news of the week. We will be doing that at 6 p.m. here on YouTube. Of course, it will go out to Spotify and through podcasts. If you are on Facebook, you may even see a clip or two out on the Book of Faces. So join us over on Facebook. The easiest way to join the fish tank is to go to my website, gavinfish.com, where you'll find a little fishy. And if you click it, that will take you over to the tank. It looks like this. You are invited to it. Oh, I just realized I didn't have the screen set to the width, so you didn't see that. This little fishy right here, and it will take you to the tank where we hang out and have fun and have a good time. And you are always, always, always invited. And so, my friend, for now, I say adieu, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on YouTube with my friend Elizabeth Jones, or in the Rewatch crew, either on YouTube, on Spotify, on Facebook. However you do it, thank you for doing it. We'll see you then.